Hello all, long time no see. It's another episode of Tom's Gaming World. So here we are. It's been quite a while since we've done an episode of Tom's Gaming World, and to be honest I'm a little bit out of practice, so please excuse me if this isn't the greatest episode in the world. But yeah, it's been a while. We moved to a new flat, set everything up, and I've been meaning to get around to doing something, but I just hadn't felt particularly compelled to do another video for quite some time. But yeah, just lately I've been feeling the urge to get back into it. Let's just test the waters and see if there is still any interest in this series. So I thought with this, what I could do was just show you the setup as it is now. And you might hear the football there because I'm in Wembley, right next to Wembley Stadium. So if you do hear any noise, it'll probably be coming from the big match which is over there at the stadium today. But yeah, I thought, yeah, I'll show you around. I'll show you around what we've currently got set up here. It's quite similar to what I had before in the old flat. After you have to move a few things around. But yeah, I'll just give you a quick tour. So here we are. Here's the new setup. A little different than before, but also I think you'll agree quite similar if you recall older videos. We haven't got the shelves with the DVDs and stuff over there. They've actually moved to the back wall, and also the old Xbox One shelf has moved over here. Still has some Dreamcast games on it as well, and these are new since we moved into this place, so we keep all our Switch games here. There's just a few random PS3 games that I got out, a lot of them still in boxes, and CDI, PS1 imports as well, and all sorts of goodness down here. Some DS as well, and Wii U, and just a bit of a random assortment, but that's all the Switch collection. I've also got my DS games in these little cases here. So all the PS4 games are in there. I'm not going to open the cupboard because I've got stuff in front of it, but we have a couple of things I've been playing recently out the front there, and 360, a few 360 games that I haven't played them for a while, but I got them out to play them, and I've played a bit of all of these at some point over the last few months, I suppose, and they just ended up there, as well as some Wii U games at the bottom, and some videotapes behind, and a bit of Tekken there too. So you move across, all the same consoles are out from before. There's the PS4 there with a couple of statues on there, and PS5. I don't know if I've done a video since my previous setup where the actual PS5 has been in the setup. I can't recall, but Xbox One S. Please excuse the dust. I do need to do a little dust in here. Original Xbox 360. There's a Dreamcast down there with PS2. Both of these, and I've mentioned this before in previous videos, are region free, so it's really handy playing all sorts of imports. And Super Nintendo Switch. That's Claire's Switch there. Mine's underneath this little coffee table here. Xbox One X. This is the Gears of War. What is Gears of War 5? Gears of War 5 one? I'm not 100% sure on that. And then PS3 there. So there we have it. There's the tour of the current setup. It works well for me. I have the ability to play most of everything that I can here. But to be fair, nowadays I haven't been playing many retro consoles really. Because I haven't been collecting as much for those consoles, so I haven't really been playing them so much. PS5 would be the main console for me currently, but then I am dipping into the Xbox One X that I showed you there and the Xbox Series S. And as I touched upon, it would have been a far better idea to just get an Xbox Series X, but at the time I was concentrating on the PS5 and I didn't want to fork out for an Xbox Series X. But then I bought a Xbox One X, didn't I? In addition to my Xbox. This is confusing, all these names, isn't it? Series S. But I'm happy with that. I don't feel a real need for a Series X when I have the PS5, and I have a great way to play all my Xbox One games on the slightly more powerful Xbox One X. Wow. Okay, so you may be wondering what I've been playing lately. Well, since the since the last time we did a video, I played a lot of games. I really enjoyed Cyberpunk and Biomutant, but I think I've already mentioned Biomutant. That was a long time ago, but it's a game that stuck with me. It's one of my favourites in recent years. But I played through all of Cyberpunk and really enjoyed that game. I did a few different endings for the character type I chose. I think there's like 3 possible endings for the character, but I've done 2 of them, so 1 outstanding. I might get around to that again, but I sort of moving on to other things. Been playing Resident Evil 4, which this is the remake of Resident Evil 4 that came out as I'm doing this video not so long ago. Also, at the time of doing this video, Sony have made the PS4 version of Spider-Man by Insomniac. I think it's from 2018, was it? Possibly. They've made that game upgradable. So I had it on PS4, still do. But what I was able to do was pay £5 and upgrade that to the PS5 version, which I did recently, and I decided to give that game another shot, which I was playing a little bit of that earlier today. And I have to say, it's an incredibly impressive game. It's pretty spectacular in terms of production value and it feeling like you're playing a Marvel film. But I have to say, there's something about it which isn't quite grabbing me. And it's difficult to say exactly what. I go into a bit more detail on it on the latest episode of Tom at Attack if you want to hear me talk a little bit more about Spider-Man. But it's a great achievement. But is it the type of game that I really like? I don't know. I think it's lacking a certain something for me. But I know it is a very good game. I'm not saying it's a bad game by any means. Just maybe it's not what I'm looking for at the moment. I've really been getting into Bayonetta recently, which I do go into in depth on the podcast as well. So I will leave a link below in the description to check out the podcast at Tom at Attack, which I've been doing for many years now. We're nearing 300 episodes of that. But yeah, I've really been enjoying playing the first Bayonetta, because I recently picked up the 3rd Bayonetta game. I haven't even finished the first yet, but it was very cheap, and I know that I really do like Bayonetta. I think it's an amazing action game, one of the best, one of the most kinetic, frantic third-person action combat games there's ever been. But I'm now getting up to a point, so many hours in, where it's getting very difficult. And I overcame the last major hurdle I had with it, but I'm only expecting it to get more difficult from now on. So we'll see how I go on that, and I can report on that in forthcoming episodes. I may, if it gets too difficult, I may just have to move on to Bayonetta 2 and see how far I get with that, and see if they've made it any easier. There is an easy mode on Bayonetta. There's a very easy, but I have to look into what's involved, because it says some of the controls taken away from you in those easier modes. It says automatic next to easy, so I don't know if I want to play a game where I lose some control of the character, because especially with fighting games as well, I like to be able to do the moves manually as opposed to having anything automated. So I'm not too keen on playing it that way, but maybe I'll have to if it does get too difficult for me, because that's always a problem with video games, you know. They can be frustratingly hard at times, and Bayonetta is certainly one of those more difficult ones. So that's just a quick rundown. I've picked up quite a few games in the time since the last episode, so I'm not going to even attempt to give you an update on what I've picked up. What I would suggest you do instead, if you're interested, which I'd be very surprised if you were, but if you do happen to be interested, then we still do have an Instagram account for Blast Process, and where what I do there is I post semi-regularly all my latest pickups. So if you want to check out my pickups, you can head to our Instagram page. I'll also put a link in the description if you want to check that out. And there I also write a little bit about the games that I've picked up and what I think of them, just general thoughts and feelings on the games. So yeah, if you're interested in that, you can. That never stopped, so you'll be able to sort of pinpoint. If you have watched the previous episodes and you're familiar with my gaming pickups, you might be able to pinpoint where I stopped making videos and get up to date there. And really appreciate any comments as well. If you want to drop a comment below on if you're interested in seeing more of Tom's Gaming World, and there's some honking horns from the football out there. Can you hear that? I can't really get around that because there's a match just finished. But yeah, of course, when I decide to finally make a video, I make it the day of a big football match. But yeah, I don't really know what to say for the rest of this episode. I hope you found some interest. I've tried to include a little bit of gameplay footage as I've been chatting, just to make things a little bit more interesting. So yeah, if you like what you see, if you've enjoyed the series, you're looking forward to more, let me know. Also, if not, then you can also let me know as well. But yeah, because it'd be good to sort of gauge some sort of interest, if there is any interest in me continuing these episodes. So thanks again for watching, and until I see you again for possibly another episode of Tom's Gaming World, it is goodbye and game on.